My name is João Cunhumjian. I was born and raised in Brazil, but I do have this Armenian last name, Cunhumjian. I'm actually 50% Armenian. My music journey started some over 20 years ago or so in my home country of Brazil. I started when I was around 12 years old playing electric guitar at first. And I got into bossa nova, and it was a great way to explore new harmonies, new melodies. It was a great challenge also. But then later on, when I was a late teenager, I found a classical guitar, and I thought it was very nice to be able to play. And that was about the time I was discovering music by Villa-Lobos, and of course the music of Bach. There weren't a whole lot of classical guitar teachers where I grew up. That's São José do Rio Preto, a city in the countryside of the São Paulo state. So I moved to São Paulo, the capital of the state, to pursue classical guitar studies, and I found a really, really good teacher, a great performer, amazing guitarist, Paolo Martelli, who to this day is still my idol and a very important mentor for me. I just wanted to follow his footsteps, and it just so happens that part of his education was at the Juilliard School in New York City, and that's where I set to go. I was lucky enough to get in, studying with Sharon Nisbin, and it's funny how some of my upbringing, some of the music I grew up listening to, the bossa nova standards for one, came back when choosing repertoire to do my first album. This album, Armenian, Gakavig Fantasy, it was a big adventure for me because I don't speak Armenian. I didn't grow up listening to folk music from Armenia. And I've been to Armenia once only, fell in love with it, but no music ventures with Armenian music. So I can't possibly play like local musicians, but I did try to fill the gaps with my imagination and my creative process in arranging and composing. The first track of the album is Gakavig, and it's a folk song from Armenia. Gakavik means partridge, the bird partridge. And he received lyrics from Armenian poet Tomanian. And it describes the Gakavik, the partridge, and its surrounding Armenian nature. It was passed on through oral tradition, but it was collected and later transcribed so it would fit the concert hall by Father Komitas. And I based my guitar arrangement of Gakavik on Komitas' works. And I had some ideas to make an introduction, to maybe do a coda or a variation. But before I knew it, I had so much material that actually became a full-scale original composition that I named Gakavig Fantasy. And it's all based, of course, on the folk tune, Gakavig. And it's funny how the words of the folk song Gakavig were always in my mind in the creative process. I wanted to somehow depict the adventures of this Gakavig through more dramatic pathways and kind of tell a story without words. And so I did it, and here's the album. It has a nice arch to it because it begins with Gakavig and it ends with Gakavig's Fantasy. trying to do an aesthetic arch and connecting and trying to go full circle.